Welcome back to the channel, guys. Tintin57 here, and today we're taking a first look at the newly released next-gen version of On the Road Trucking Simulator. Let's jump in. So here we go. So it's kind of a first look. What I did do was just quickly go in and set up the options for steering, etc., just to get it how I had it in the PS4 version, because the default settings are pretty pretty difficult to master on a controller. I will say that much. So I am using the DualShock controller. I've DualSense. Let me say that. Not DualShock. Old habits die hard. But I have no steering wheel. I imagine this will be really good on steering wheel. So yeah, I did that. I set that up. What I also did was I just picked up a couple of items that we can deliver, just so that we were ready to go. Let's just get the truck started. Put the card in. Reset the driving time. So we've got 7 hours 50. That's not real time, of course. You'll see that advance quite quickly. Just set the seat backwards. So I did pick up a couple of items, couple of contracts, so that we were ready to go, and then we can have a short run. So you can just see here we're going from Duisburg, I hope I'm saying that correctly, and we're going down to Cologne or Köln, and we got 2 deliveries once we get down to Köln, so those are already in the back of the truck. I wanted to show you both the night and the day, so you could see really if there's any graphical improvement with this next gen version over the PS4 version. So let me just get out of the back of this building first of all. If I can remember. Now I could go across the pavement there, but then that would be cheating. So with this version there hasn't been any improvements to gameplay as I understand it. It's purely a graphical upgrade. So I'm expecting some big improvement, to be honest. It's certainly, even though it's night time, it seems brighter, it seems more detailed in the cab. Things are a bit fresher. The dials on the truck, even though there's no zoom function, unfortunately, which would be really useful, but the dials on the truck and the whole detail of the cab of the truck is looking pretty good. Let's see. So what we should do, we're driving at night time. It's 5 to 4 in the morning. And as we do this run, we should be finishing in daylight, so we get to see the transition between night and day, which is good. So here's one feature that they added into the PS4 version, well, all consoles, just before the changeover, and that was the snapback. So you can look left and right and let go of the thumbstick and it snaps back to the middle, which is super useful. You don't get many big gaps in traffic when you're coming out at the end of somewhere like that, so that is useful. The mirrors are very good. So if you look in that left hand mirror now, there's good visibility behind. But here's the first problem. If you look over to the left, look at the distant scenery. The scenery is flashing. And it's as if it's loading in. As you get nearer, it goes solid. Now, this is Unity engine, so I don't know if that's a particular problem with Unity. The only other trucking game that I've played on console is Truck Driver, and that was also Unity, and that had a similar issue with distant scenery. So I don't know if that is something that can be fixed or whether that's just a feature of Unity. When you're in the city such as this, and things are built up in front of you, you don't get that. It looks pretty nice. So we've got 74 kilometres to go. There's certainly more traffic on the road. There's also the addition of pedestrians. You can see pedestrians now. We didn't have that in the last gen. Just adds a little bit more immersion to it. So far it's looking sharper. One thing I'm keen on seeing is there was a problem in the last one, is trucks and vehicles appearing in the distance on the opposite side of the road. They'd have a habit of just dropping from the sky. So that's one thing I'm going to look for once we get to the motorway, just to make sure that's fixed, because that is a bit distracting. So far it's looking okay. So this came out on the 11th of November for next gen. I'm not sure about Xbox. I'm not sure if Xbox was released on the same day. We're on the PS5, of course, here. Now, if you already had the PS4 version, then this was a free upgrade. But what you would need to do if you claim this upgrade is restart all your progress from the beginning. So certainly on the PlayStation, any progress you had on the previous generation console doesn't get carried over. That was a similar thing with Train Sim World 2. Now, I don't know if that works differently on the Xbox with the smart delivery. TSW2 certainly did carry over its progress on the Xbox, so I think they've got a different system. So it's just worth double checking. I would say though that you know, it's probably worth restarting. I hadn't got very far through the previous version, so really it was a no-brainer to me, really, to upgrade to the new version, just for the benefits of it being a lot nicer looking, and hopefully, you know, down the line it's supported for a long time to come and there's more functionality added as well. So we've just got onto the motorway. We've got just over 54 kilometres to go till we reach Colne. So this is the section that I'm really looking for as far as distant scenery goes, and the dropping in of the vehicles on the opposite side. So we'll take a look at that. Starting to become more daylight as well, you'll notice. Already there's some flashing in the distance. Once we get out of this bank of trees, then we'll be able to tell properly just what it's like. As I said, driving wise, it feels exactly the same. Nothing's changed with the functionality of the game itself. It's quite a small download size as well. I think it's less than 5 gig, which for a game, you know, that has got this much road within it, it's quite small. I thought and I imagined the PS5 version to be much bigger than that. But in fact, I think it is a similar size, if not the same size, as the PS4 version was. So the flashing now as we come out of these trees is really more noticeable. I'd like to say it was something that I could ignore, but it is, because it's in your eye line the whole time, it's difficult. The lighting there in the petrol station looks good. There's definitely been a lot of graphical tweaks to this. I mean, it even runs smoother as well. There's no stutters or pauses. Just have a quick look at the outside view. This is the standard truck, of course, which is given to you when you start your career. This is a problem too. Steering from the outside is difficult. I wish there was a little bit more control of what you can do outside the truck. To me, the controls using the thumbsticks outside the truck's quite clunky. If you play the game, you'll see what I mean. It's not very. It doesn't move the way I expect it to. It's difficult to sort of put that across if you've never played it, but it's difficult to control and keep the truck going straight at the same time. Now you see the buildings over on the right are popping in and out. If they can fix that, then it's pretty good. So remember that this isn't a full price game. So I think it retails 20. It depends where you buy it. If you get it on the store, I think it's about £29. I think there is a disc version coming out in a couple of weeks' time. I saw that on Amazon for a similar price, but I've noticed people are advertising it a little bit less from different shops online. So it's not a full price game. There's a lot of playability in it. It's a relaxing game, I would say. The basic premise is the same the whole way through. You go to a city, you pick up contracts, you deliver those contracts to different cities, you rinse, you repeat. You can also, you've got your own business. You can employ drivers, get new trucks. What I would say is as you upgrade your trucks to new ones, you can carry different types of cargo, and therefore you can get a lot more enjoyability out of it. So on the PS4 version, for example, I just bought the truck that allowed shipping containers. So what that allowed me to do was to go around the map to all the ports, pick up the shipping containers and take them on quite long runs. Actually, there was some quite long runs of several hundred kilometers to get from one side of the map to the other, and that was quite enjoyable. Actually, I quite enjoyed doing that. I like doing long runs in Train Sim World, so to do a long drive as well in this is equally interesting to me. But it is a relaxing game. It's something you can do while your music's on in the background. It's one of those types of games. It's just a chilling out. You just go from A to B, deliver the contract. Depends what you like. You're also, as we've mentioned in a previous video, you're also restricted on console to which trucking games you can get. Certainly on the PlayStation. The PlayStation just has Truck Driver, which I did platinum Truck Driver, but I didn't really enjoy it. I was glad to finish that and get the disc on eBay. But this one has got some potential, especially if they come out of Germany in future DLCs. Nothing about DLCs has been mentioned yet, other than new trucks, paint schemes, etc, etc. But if they're to introduce a new map as a DLC in a different country, then that'll be good, because we've just got Germany at the moment. So it's got some potential. It'll just need to prove itself popularity wise, I think, before they do that. So have a good look at the truck. Sometimes when the headlights are on, it's difficult actually to see the traffic lights and what colour they're on, so I can just knock that down a bit now. We're just under 6 kilometres to our first drop off. The sat nav is also very good now they've added distance to destination. That was one thing that was lacking on the original launch. Starting to come into full daylight now, so you can see the differences. The whole game is much brighter, so they've obviously dialed things up a bit. It's essentially the same game, but they've just graphically turned it up a few notches. I'm sure that's all they've done. So this is our first stop. I think this is where we drop off the bricks. So reversing in this truck isn't that bad. As you progress, it becomes quite difficult. The trucks get bigger, but the area in which you've got to manoeuvre to do a reverse up to these doors doesn't get any bigger, so you've got the same space you're working in. But if you play this a lot, you do get used to it. You pick it up quite quickly. So we're in the right spot once those yellow lines behind the truck turn green. So we'll turn the engine off, as we probably should if we were doing this in real life. We'll just walk over to the freight office just to let them know we've arrived. So we're delivering bricks, so we need to get the doors open. I think another improvement, it does this automatically, so it automatically delivers the cargo without you doing anything. You just open the doors. But I know they've talked about a future improvement where they want to make that better and give you a little bit more to do once you arrive at your destination to actually unload the cargo, which will be a nice addition. So that's the first lot dropped off. We've got one more delivery to do in 18 kilometers. So we'll start up again and we'll move off. So I would say this is not a massive upgrade, in my opinion, to the previous generation version. It does look a lot nicer. It runs smoother, but there are some issues still, and I'm mainly talking about the distant scenery popping in and out. They need to fix that. I did notice on the motorway that the vehicles on the opposite side of the road were popping in slightly, but they're now not dropping out of the sky, which has been improved. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to take a longer look. I'm also going to put this on stream. We've been streaming a lot of TSW2. I think we'll put on the road on stream, and we'll do a variety of different contracts and just take a look. But the pace of the game's nice. It is relaxing, as I said. It's something you can just hop on, do a couple of contracts, then put it down again. There are two different trucks in the game at the moment. There's the MAN and the Scania, or the MAN. I'm not sure if it's MAN or MAN. So there's two at the moment, and as I said earlier, they are looking to bring in more trucks in future. These are fully licensed trucks as well, so they should be accurate down to the real life detail that they've got in the trucks. I'm not sure the city wise, these are all real cities, but as far as the scenery goes, I'm not sure how true to life the scenery and the buildings are. The middle of the city could well be fictitious. I guess you need to you know, TSW for example is fairly accurate. I think in a simulator of this price, there's probably some, you know, shall we say, graphical license for what the buildings and assets look like as compared to the real thing. So I mean that particularly in this game, that doesn't particularly bother me like it would in Train Simulator, for example. So that's worth keeping in mind. But if you just want a truck simulator, we've got bus simulator already. This one's a nice option, and it should hopefully not break the bank. If you compare that to, I just bought Call of Duty Vanguard, which actually I got slightly cheaper, so that was £55. I've got Battlefield 2042 coming at the end of this week. That was around £60. So PS5 titles are normally pretty expensive. So you know this one is half of that. Okay, you might argue it's half the experience, but I think the price point is pretty good for this type of game. In the distance there, you can see Cologne Cathedral, which, if you have looked at some of my TSW2 videos, that cathedral is right next to Cologne Station. So they have put various landmarks in this game as well, albeit it is flashing in and out there in the distance. So we haven't far to go now till we drop this off. This is our last delivery, and that will end our first look. This is a similar reverse to the first one. Not too difficult, as I said, in this truck. Put the handbrake on, and then we'll get out and we'll unload this, and that will be it for this first look. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's just a short one. Just wanted to jump in, see what differences were immediately sort of visible to me after playing the first one for several hours. And on the whole, I'm quite impressed with it. Still some improvements to make, but I'm sure as the feedback comes in, they'll start to improve that and make it better. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed it. We will do some more, and we'll live stream it a couple of times so we can do some longer runs. And thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.